Hey everyone, it's Stranger Grayson here. And yeah, welcome to a definitely a different kind of video. We're going to be ranking the Saw franchise today like I promised. This is a new way I'm doing things. Maybe not for every video. I'm probably just going to be doing this for rankings, but I figured this would be better instead of me having to go through and make 20-minute long videos on my phone. I could try recording these rankings on my laptop. So today I have all 10 Saw films here and we're going to be ranking them. I know I've got S tier, A tier, B tier, all that right here. Um, so, uh, basically, I know the Saw franchise, I've been covering that for a while. It's been a hot minute. I've been covering it for a while, and finally I've got it done. So, once I'm done with this ranking, I will be deciding on what to review next, and I'm actually got a few ideas in mind, but I'm gonna need some help with that. So, if you haven't seen yet, I put a community tab post up, and hopefully you guys can respond to that and help me decide on what franchise I should do next. So, anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this ranking. So, let's start out with the original. Um, well, let me start out in my last place, and that for me is going to be Saw 3D. It's probably gonna be the only one, or maybe there's one more that's in F tier, but this movie was abysmal. I mean, you get to the main cast. You've got uh, the opening scene with Jesse and what's the other guy's name? I forgot him, but I'm genuinely wondering how Hoffman was able to get that saw trap put together because I don't know how you can do that in public and having to carry bodies and everything. I don't know. That was just weird to me. I think a public trap is cool. You just got to do it the right way, and I don't think it was presented the right way. Um, and just the writing and the characters, it was just abysmal, man. I mean, talk about a boring Saw movie, like, ugh. And the 3D, it was, ugh. um, the twist that you have with the doctor, Dr. Gordon, you could see it coming. I mean, it's one of the most obvious signs of villainy. I mean, right there in your face. So, that's definitely gonna be my last place in this ranking. Saw 3D, just can't stand it. Um, Coming in right above that, I gotta be honest, it's it's Saw 5. I mean, just this is a boring Saw movie. I mean, you go from Detective Strom, Peter Strom. It's just a detective movie with just a Saw trap in between. I don't really like that aspect. I mean, you can do it well. I just don't think it was done well here. We'll talk about that later in my further ranking. And on top of that, just characters are not relatable whatsoever. I think this is one of my least favorite roles Hoffman has done. I think honestly in 3D, I think he's doing better. I like him as an actual villain in that film, but this one is just I don't know. It gets boring towards those points, and the traps are cool. Like I said, all the saw traps. Most of them have been fine, even in this one. It's just I don't like how they took the route that they did, and it's really disappointing. It was a disappointing movie for me, and I think the ending was a nice kill, but just a lot of rushed plot and the side A and side B of the plot just didn't work for me. So yeah, Saw 5, it's going there. My eighth spot, it's gonna have to be Jigsaw. Here, let me see if I can set that in front of here. Yeah, so I mean, from the get-go, you're trying to it's sort of like a reboot, but it's not. Um, and then the fact that you want this movie to take place before all the other ones, does not work well. I think Logan's character, him being part of an apprentice before Amanda, before Hoffman, before Gordon, no, get that out of here. I don't even think he's going to be brought up again. So, yeah, the traps themselves I thought were cool, and I did like some of these characters. I mean, you had a lot of shitty characters that you really did not care much about, but at least in this film, they try doing something here. I mean, the practical effects that they have done, I think there were some practical effects in there. Really enjoyed those. Like I said, the twist ending, not a fan of, and just a lot of the dialogue was kind of sloppy. These are really my bottom three I would not return to, and it Saw is just a franchise where it gets worse and worse as it goes on. I mean, with the exception for a couple of these, but it's something that I can't put above. I mean, Saw 3D is always going to be bad. I just can't put these in C tier. They're not fun to watch. I definitely don't want to go back to them. So yeah, that's going to be uh, my number 10 spot. Okay, I'm not sure if those are controversial picks or not. I'm assuming these are a lot of people's bottom tiers, but coming in at number 9 is going to be Saw 3. Saw 3 was it was a movie. Um, I think Tobin Bell as Jigsaw in here. I think his performance, while he was on a hospital bed most of it, it was still he tried, and I did enjoy that. I think Amanda is at her best point in this franchise. Um, kind of coming into that villainy role and questioning Jigsaw's motives, this and that. Some people don't deserve to be saved. Did really enjoy that aspect, and that was my phone going off. I'm gonna mute that. Sorry, guys. Um, but the main character here, Jeff, I not a fan. Really not a fan. Does not know how to do these saw traps. He's slow as hell. I mean, like you saw Dead Meat Slash, motherfucking Jeff. Samf, or like the abbreviated. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, um, I think the traps are cool. I did enjoy the rack, like where the guy's getting twisted. Timothy, I think is his name, Timothy Young. He's getting twisted. Uh, thought that trap was cool. The one where that lady's freezing and he has to grab a key, that was definitely suspenseful. And the parts where Dr. Lin is having to help John Kramer, I thought it was all right. Definitely better than watching Jeff, but I do like the character progression we get with Amanda and Jigsaw. But, you know, like I said, would definitely watch some other sequels above this. And uh, the next one coming in at number 7, I think yeah, I did count. No, no, no. Sorry, number 6. Sorry, guys. Uh, it's gonna be Saw 4. Some of these, I think about 3 of these are probably gonna be, or a couple more of these are gonna be in B tier. Just Saw 3 is gonna be my only C tier film because it's one that I'll watch, but I'm not gonna go back to it right away. Um, please ignore these ads down here, guys. I'm sorry. I just anyway. Saw 4. I think Detective Rig. Um, I enjoyed him better than I did Jeff. I did get frustrated with a lot of his choices, especially towards the end. Don't even get me start. Don't even get me started. Um, this is where we get introduced to Hoffman as John Kramer's apprentice. I think he's the best apprentice that we've had for John Kramer. Logan, get him out of here. Amanda and Hoffman definitely battle each other for me in the best apprentice for Jigsaw. Of course, he's not around until the very end of the film. Where he locks Strom in that uh, place, and these I believe Saw 3 and 4 take place around the same time. So, um, where am I starting? Rig, the whole moral where he has to let people save themselves and he needs to quit rushing in and doing this for everybody. I thought that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. And it was definitely something to watch, seeing people having to do their own battles and Rig can't save them. Really enjoyed that aspect. It just frustrated me the way they handled the ending with um the detective from Saw 2. I forget his name. Um Matthews, Eric Matthews, that's his name. Did not like how they handled Eric Matthews with him getting crushed right at the end. I'm still pissed off at Rig for that. The opening trap with I forget his name, but where the guy's mouth is sewn shut, but the other guy's eyes are sewn shut. I really enjoyed that. Um, and the like I said, reveal of Hoffman is always nice, but it's just does get slow at points, and I do get frustrated with Riggs, so that's why it's coming in at my B tier. Uh, so got about 5 movies left to rank, and I think this is where it starts getting controversial for a lot of people. Um, my next spot right above it's gonna be Saw 6. I know, I know, I know. A lot of people tend to like Saw 6. It's just something about it for me. I don't like I said. I know in my review I might have hated on it more than I did now. Looking back on it, I might have been a little harsh on it. Uh, I think it's very well made, and I do like how I said with um Saw 5, they tried, changing it up a bit. John Kramer's kind of out of the picture at this point. Of course, he's still mentioned, but he's dead by Saw 4. He's done and gone. Um, the main protagonist for this film, enjoyed him. I forget his name. Forgive me, guys. A lot of these characters are forgettable, and the traps like the merry-go-round, that's always going to be a fan favorite of mine. I liked how they try to tie in John Kramer's medical thing and why he's going after these certain people with his insurance being declined and everything. Uh, enjoyed that. The opening trap with the lady having to cut off her arm and like they're having to put meat and stuff in there to like pay for their sins. Like that one. Uh, this is where Hoffman goes on the run. Towards the end of the film, he kills a lot of the people in there. And Jill Tuck, he plays a big role in here as well as 3D. She does way better in this film than I think she does in 3D. As you can see, 3D is in my last place. Um, Other than that, just like I said, forgettable characters, but less forgettable than some of these other movies. And yeah, not much else left to say. I would recommend it, just not as much as some of these last four coming up. So my fourth spot, Spiral from the Book of Saw. Let's go ahead and put that above those two. So Spiral for me, really like the return to form. Um, Kind of interesting how they kind of move past the John Kramer uh, era and they try to do something, without him and how they try to move on. I mean, this came out after Jigsaw. Saw 3D, ended in 2010. Then Jigsaw came out in 2017. That kind of killed the franchise until Spiral came along. I think Chris Rock does what he can here, and I really enjoyed that. I enjoy seeing him as a main character, who was wronged for turning into a corrupt cop and just hating everybody there. I really could feel the hate coming from him. Great protagonist, a better protagonist than I've seen in a lot of these movies. Uh, just the twist at the end, though, I could see coming. A lot of these films have twists that you can see coming from a mile away. It's just that obvious, and one that I was expecting. The kills in here, however, I think are really good. I think most of the producers, or sorry, writers and directors, they kept going for most of these films, and I really do enjoy that. Like I said, kills are great, traps are great. Ending, It was dark. The twist for the killer with the partner, could see that coming. Like I said, you've also got what's his name? Uh, Samuel L. Jackson as Chris Rock's dad in the film. Enjoyed his character. I don't think that plot is used as well though, like I said in my review, than Rock's character is. But I do enjoy that we get to go back to the detective and the cop story. Much better done than Saw 5, and it kind of relates to Saw 2, which I will be talking about here in a second. But yeah, uh, Spiral from the Book of Saw is going to be in my number 4. Okay, now we're getting to the A tier, and I've struggled with these last three because they're really all fun movies that I like to watch, and it's probably going to be a sin for me to put where I'm putting some of these, but Saw 2, it's my number 3. So, what to say about Saw 2? Eric Matthews, one of the best characters in this franchise. Really enjoyed the cop storyline, like I said, from Spiral. I think they do this better than Spiral, and I do like the big twist that they have at the end where everything's taken at a later time, and you actually understood what Kramer said by listen to me and you can save your son, just wait. And yeah, so Eric Matthews, great character. I think he's played by Donnie Wahlberg. He's in Blue Bloods, I believe, as well as in Dreamcatcher, which is a movie I would like to review at some point. Great, well-known actor. I think he does a great job here. Tobin Bell, as usual, great job. This is the movie where we get introduced to John Kramer's first apprentice, Amanda Young, towards the end. Enjoyed that. Characters in here can be dicks at times, which is relatable or which is understandable because they're in a saw trap. Uh, and it is especially um good to see the relationship that Eric Matthews has with his son. Danny, I think is his name. I think that's his son, Danny. And I think the setting where they're having to do the trap in the house, great setting for the traps. So yeah, Saw 2 is going to be in my number 3. Really enjoyed that. Okay, I've struggled really hard with these two, and they're both going to go in S tier. I will say that. But my number 2 spot, it's going to be Saw X. Saw X. Wow, this movie was definitely a great one. I do think that it does kind of give me a letdown towards the ending, especially with Cecile and the way they handle her character with that, how she survives. I really wanted to see that bitch die. Um, However, this movie takes place in between 1 and 2, and you can definitely see the connections. You can actually see more connections to this with Saw 6, like I was talking about earlier with the insurance. I like how they tie that in. John Kramer in the Saw 6 was talking about this a rare experimental procedure that people were doing in Norway. I like how they tie it into this film, make it a prequel. I think Tobin Bell is at one of his best performance here with Jigsaw, unlike my number 1 pick. But I think he does as good as he does with the original Saw. Um, you can tell that he's aging. They say he's the same age, but you can tell that he's aging, but you can ignore that aspect. I really like how they bring back Amanda Young for this and how she plays a much bigger role than what she did in most films. I know Saw 2, she had a big role, but I really like seeing her as the apprentice and the bond that you see with Kramer and her. So, uh, characters in here, dicks, like to see them all die. Something you don't see a lot in Saw, and that is really dark. Fortunately, the kid survives. Don't worry. Probably too late to say that this is a spoiler review ranking. I should probably put that in the comment section somewhere when I upload this. But anyway, traps are great. I like the practical effects done by the effects team. Really enjoy that. Uh, just overall a great movie, and I would highly recommend this. Please check it out so you don't have it spoiled. So Saw X is in my number 2. Finally, my number 1 pick is going to be the original Saw. from 2004, I believe. What to say about this movie? Dr. Gordon, great character. You get Adam. I think he's another great main character. You know, him and Adam share a bond in this film, and I really do enjoy that. Um, this is where you get that big twist at the end that everybody knows. It's the most iconic one, and it is definitely interesting. You have Zepp in here, and then you get the side story with Detective Tapp and Singh. Uh, Tapp played by uh, is it Danny Glover? Yeah, Danny Glover, I believe. I think he does an awesome performance here. The practical effects work amazing. You also get introduced to Amanda Young. This is before she became an apprentice. Really enjoy that aspect. And the, like I said, big twist. Always going to be iconic. I really do enjoy this. This and Saw X are probably going to be the number two that I watch the most and I would go back to. But yeah, great movie. Would highly recommend, especially these two. And yeah, kills are great as well in the film. So that has been my ranking on all the Saw franchise, or on all the Saw movies. Let me know if you guys agree with this. If yours is different, please let me know down in the comment section down below. Would really love to hear your thoughts on it. And let me know if you enjoy this type of way I do the rankings. If you want me to go back to where I'm just sitting on my phone and holding up movies, I would go back to that if you guys enjoy that. But if you prefer this, let me know. I'll keep doing it. And yeah, please be sure to check out my community post to vote on what I review next. Like I said, I'm struggling to choose. And thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next horror movie review or whatever video I come out. So God bless and have a great one. Bye, everyone.